Houston Rockets Golden State Warriors series is tied 2 games apiece. The last 2 games, Houston Rockets have very much so manhandled the Golden State Warriors, sort of like how Cleveland did it in 2016. Or sort of how Houston did it last year when the series went 7 games. The physicality in the series is crazy because initially James Harden and company were complaining about the physicality, saying about space to land, etc. And then when they got to Houston and Houston's doing everything, it's like now it's okay. This kind of physicality, we enjoy it. So I find it kind of hypocritical when you look at, for example, when James Harden shot that 3, he hit Draymond Green in the head. You don't call any offensive foul on that shot, but it's just like you're calling stuff about landing and all this other things. So it's like, it's sort of like what's good for the goose isn't good for the gander. So there's not in terms of officiating and fairness, there's nothing really fair about the series. So it's really like all out. Like every game is its own entity, so to speak. That being said, the Rockets have clawed their way back into the series, took care of home court, is going back to Golden State Game 5. And after watching Game 4, one of the things that I think is going remiss about everything is going to miss is the fact that the Warriors are playing somewhat down to their competition. I'm not going to say like Houston isn't talented or whatever, but the way they're playing, the ball is more ISO heavy now, so it's kind of like mirroring Houston, and they're not showing that Golden State Warrior defense that we're accustomed to seeing. Of course, you know, Houston wants to put Steph in the pick and roll every single time, but they're not doing them switches and trapping like they were doing the first 2 games. Even in Game 3, where they could have won Game 3, they showed a lot more better defense than Game 4. When you look at all the numbers of Game 4, everything is almost about even. Houston shot only 1 more free throw than the Golden State Warriors. Their 3-point percentage, while Houston made 17, their 3-point percentage is like right there. Like field goal wise, it's a very odd game because when you look at it, Houston blew up in a 17-point lead. But then when you look at all the numbers, it was a very close game. And even like down to the final score, it's a 3-point win, a 4-point win, or whatever the case is. So that being said, it's like the numbers kind of lied to you about what you watched. What you watched was like Houston dominance, James Harden going off. Then the fourth quarter came, everything got erased. So I think what it boils down for the Golden State Warriors, they have to really realize that they're the superior team. And once you give yourself your identity, quote unquote, your identity, then you play up to that. You live up to that expectation. So once they remember that, okay, we're champions, they're going to start performing their defense like champions, offense like champions. You know, I'm not really going to call out one guy, Clay, or I'm not going to say Iguodala or Green or whatever the case is. Because when you look at Houston, it was a complete team effort. From James Harden going crazy to Eric Gordon giving them clutch shots after shot after shot, driving to the basket, to Austin Rivers giving them good shots. So it was a total team effort. When I look at the Warriors, I see some talented individuals, but not that whole team performance that we saw in the first 3 games. We'll give them great performance, because Game 3 they could have really won and went to overtime or whatever. So I just think it's a matter of them getting back to how they play basketball normally. Like, this isn't how they normally play. You know, when they're down 11 or whatever the case is, and now they're going heavy ISO, just like Houston goes heavy ISO. That's not the move, in my opinion. And you look at the Milwaukee Bucks and the Boston Celtics 3-1. I picked the Celtics to win this series, or reverting back to Golden State Warriors and Houston Rockets. I did pick Houston in 7, so I guess that bodes well for my prediction. But, you know, who knows, whatever the case is. Game 5 is a pivotal game for both teams. But back to the Bucks and the Celtics. 3-1. I picked the Celtics to win the series. It's over. Giannis had 39 and 16 rebounds. I mean, the guy is killing the Celtics. And then you look at the points in the paint. I believe the Bucks got 66 points in the paint. So the Celtics just aren't defending, not making the Bucks feel them. The Bucks are shooting a higher percentage. Everybody wants to make it really about Kyrie Irving and shooting woes or whatever the case is. I just feel like the way that Brad Stevens basically is getting outcoached. You got a guy that Giannis Antetokounmpo who can't shoot the basketball from 16 feet out, and you still keep letting him penetrate, and he's getting all these boards and all this other stuff. you would have to counter that with some kind of chip rebounding or sagging off defense, where either he's gonna come in with a full head of steam and you're gonna get the charge, or he's gonna come in and play in crowds and you're gonna have to force somebody else to beat you. What's happening with the Celtics is they're allowing Giannis to beat them along with all the others, so they're getting a double whammy. It's really ugly. And people want to make it more about Kyrie and his like Kyrie is like the end all be all for that team because of what he said about LeBron. But I just think as a team they haven't functioned right. And then Gordon Hayward, you know, I think in the last 2 games or something he scored like 4 points. Like I think game 4 he scored 4 points. Like I mean, come on, like Kyrie. There's no amount of Kyrie that's gonna help you fix a starter who scores 4 points. Like the other day when PJ Tucker scored 0 points, 0 points and Clint Capella had 4. There was no way Houston was gonna win that game if those two guys scored that amount of points. That's nothing. That's like a bench player. So there's no way for the Celtics to counteract everything that's coming at them if Gordon Hayward isn't playing well or Jason Tatum isn't playing well. Now they gotta go back into Milwaukee. I don't know. This will test if they could win this next game in Milwaukee, then this series is going 7. The problem is they're not winning this next game in Milwaukee because they don't have the resolve, they don't have the camaraderie, and honestly speaking, it's quite over. It's quite over because they have too many not too many Indians, not enough Chiefs. They don't have like clear cut leadership. They need to get some veteran presence in there other than Kyrie to quell these guys, and it's not going to be Morris because Morris is a hothead. So that being said, that series is over. Golden State series, we may be looking at a 7-game series. I'm very interested to see how Game 5 plays out, and if one of these teams can get a road win. Hoops Junction, where Hoops meets Hoopla. Like, comment, subscribe.